I think it's on. I never done this before, so we'll just have to see. But welcome to episode number 1 of Athletes Insight. This is live with your host, Rich. That is me. Right, first of all, I want to say thank you for joining us in this little corner of the internet. You could be anywhere at the moment watching cat videos or doing anything else with your time, so thank you. And hopefully I can just help somebody today. I've got a few questions from you guys, so I'll get right onto them in just a second. We'll see if anybody else is going to join us, and then we'll get really started. Whilst we're waiting, actually, I can go pretty much into who am I? I mean, that was one of the questions, essentially. Why am I doing the Ask Me Anything? So, without further ado, I am Rich. I am one of the people behind Athletes Insight. I tend to manage most of the kind of day-to-day in terms of keeping the site running, doing products, this kind of stuff, really. And honestly, I set it up just because it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I wanted to help as many people as possible. And for me, given my experience and my background related to sport and exercise, that's kind of the area that I'm most passionate about, and hopefully I can help somebody by doing it. So, a bit more about my background. I used to be a bobsleigh athlete, competing for Great Britain. And before that, I was a sports scientist working with a lot of professional athletes, various football or soccer teams, rowing teams, you name it really. I did some work in the UK and also some in the US at a performance center that was in Santa Barbara. I did that over the summer. And now really, I want to give back, and I want to help as many people as I can, based on my own experience and learning. Something that I felt wasn't really there when I was an athlete was the support. And I'm very passionate about mentoring. I've mentored a few athletes before at international level, and honestly I'd like to continue doing that, and Athletes Insight gives me an outlet for that. You know, one of the greatest things about it is the community that we have. I try to make myself as available as I can, and that's actually one of the reasons that I'm doing this, is so that I can be more available to you guys. If you have any questions, then you can always get in touch with me, and actually we might start doing this every week. We'll see how it goes. But you can always get hold of me in our little Facebook community that is called The Uplift. So if you just go to facebook.com/groups/The Uplift, you can find us there, and I'll put the link below at the end of that. So, okay, moving on to questions. I have one here which says, what motivates you first thing in the morning? Now for me, right now, it is being able to wake up and hopefully make an impact in someone's life, which sounds kind of airy-fairy, I guess, but honestly, it's the truth. Building Athletes Insight means that I'm able to put out the knowledge and experience that I have to hopefully help somebody else. Again, it wasn't necessarily something that I felt that I could have used more. Obviously, there was support available, but I just wanted to basically create a community of people who are very active and encouraging and uplifting together, and just bring them all into one place. I feel like professional sport can be kind of isolated at times because everybody's competing for places, and also, you know, I wanted to address the whole spectrum. So even people who are just beginning to start exercising, you know, I feel like I have a lot to offer those kind of people. So when I wake up in the morning, that's what gets me out of bed, being able to help somebody else. The question goes on to say, what tips could I give to what tips could I give to someone who isn't naturally a morning person? Now, I'm not really a morning person either. But I do have a few tips that work for me and for other people that I've suggested them to in the past. So hopefully these might help. The first one is understand your body, really. The better that you understand your body and how different things make you feel will really have a huge impact. And one of the ways that you could start kind of tracking this is by getting a very small book. It could just be like this. I literally just have a pad of paper with me at all times, and I might write down like what I've had to drink that day, and then kind of how I felt. Like if I write down my moods or something, then I can usually link it back to something. Like let's say I had a really sugary drink and I'm feeling a bit low a couple hours later, then I can just look at the notes and it's really clear to me to see that was the influence. So if you do that for a little while and figure out what things make you feel good, then maybe you could start your day with that. So for me, I know that things that really wake me up are having a shower first thing in the morning. If I don't do that first thing in the morning, then I don't know, I feel like I never really wake up. So I do that straight away, and I know that cold water, fresh air, and music all make me really happy. So if I have those three, then I'm great. So in the morning I will have water, and often if you can, I'd recommend putting a lemon in it because that's really useful. A lot of people advocate the health benefits of that. I won't go into too much detail about it now, but a glass of water with lemon first thing in the morning, really good for you. Get your water in because obviously you've been sleeping all night, dehydrated, etc. Put some music on, give it a go, open the window, get some air in. I don't know, I feel like it's hard to be sluggish when you've got fresh air coming in. Also, I tend to do a little bit of exercise first thing in the morning just to get my blood going. It could be anything, push-ups, planks, something like that. Just really helps make me feel awake. I hope those tips might help you. Perhaps give a couple of them a go and let me know how you get on. Okay, what else have we got? How old am I? I am 28. Next one. How often would I recommend someone trains on a weekly basis if it's for the purpose of general fitness? That's a good question, and the answer, unfortunately, is it depends. So, if you are somebody who works a very stressful full-time job, you might not have time to do, an hour's training X amount of days a week. So I really think it's about trying to fit what you can into your schedule. And honestly, I don't think it's that difficult. I feel a lot of people complain and say, "Oh, Rich, it's too difficult. I don't have time to do that," or whatever. And with people like that, obviously we do our best to encourage them to see that health is really a priority. But there's a lot of little ways that you can work into a normal day. So it might be doing a little bit of exercise first thing when you get up, like I said before. You could do a little bit at lunchtime. You could do a little bit after work. If you've done 3 lots of 20 minutes, that's an hour. That's the same as somebody going to the gym. And I'd say that a lot of people that go to the gym don't necessarily make the most of their time there. So they might say they've done an hour and a half, 2-hour gym session, but what have they actually done there? I feel like a lot of people could get in and out in 4 to 5 minutes and get a lot more done. So, again, the answer is kind of it depends. For me, when I was an athlete, we were training, up to 12 plus sessions a week, and there would be big sessions. But I feel like for general fitness, you can get by on a lot less than that. With complete transparency, I can go like twice a week just to the gym, and I can maintain what I have at the moment, and I find that not too difficult. But again, it plays into what your diet is like and stuff too, and again, if you're doing things at home, then you can certainly get around it. But for general fitness, let's say if I was taking on a client now, and they had no restrictions, they had a completely clear schedule, they just wanted an introduction to exercise, and they're just looking to get a little bit fitter, look a bit better in the mirror, something like that. I would typically have them work out 3 to 4 times a week. I think rest days are very important because that's when you adapt and develop. Okay. Hope that answers that question. Let's see. Okay, I have a question on the computer, which is, what is the main purpose of Athletes Insight? Kind of answered that one already, but basically I want Athletes Insight to support athletes and active individuals from all over the world. I want to bring everybody together who maybe they don't have a running group, for example, or maybe they are doing the individual sport, and I just want them to have somewhere to share the athlete journey, I guess, share the great bits and the not so great bits. On social media, we always try to provide some encouragement and share photos of the day from the community. People send them in, and honestly, we're just building and building. We're putting out a lot more advice now. If I think back to where we were maybe a year ago, I don't know, I see that now and I feel quite embarrassed by it, but I think now hopefully we're onto something good, and people seem to be liking what we're putting down, so long may it continue. That is all the questions that we have for today, but we might make this a weekly thing. Like I said, we'll certainly be doing more YouTube videos for Athletes Insight, and if you like this, please like it, click the like button, share it, and subscribe.